Hello and welcome to episode 23 in the series. This is the last of the trio of episodes determined by a poll on my Facebook group at the end of 2017. For episode 23 I am covering A Bulldog Odyssey, authored by the late George Bambury and published in 2004. This book is a pictorial on the well-known Streamliner type diesels that have operated in Australia since 1951 and covers the first 50-odd years of service. The book is a hardcover edition featuring a well-weathered number panel on locomotive GM34 at Tailem Bend in 1999, with some smaller pictures of other streamliners below the title. The cover is the same for the dust jacket. Inside, the book contains a short introduction, followed by chapters on the early days, passenger workings, desert workings, bulk haulage, commuter workings, night shots, and colours in the privatisation era. The book is entirely produced in colour. While I've always praised the use of the good old black and white for some publications, it is hard to imagine this particular book doing the content justice if it had been. After all, the diesel era on the Australian railways introduced a bit of variety in colour, not widely seen on the old steam locomotives, apart from the early days, but unable to be captured due to the lack of coloured film. Anyway, there are some notable Australian railway photographers who have had their works published in this book, including Peter England, Ted Payne, Peter Ralph, Greg Triplett, Steve Holmes, Graham Cotterill, Billy Lewis, John Clark, Andrew McBain, Trevor McBain, Stuart Turnbull, Steve Malpass, Steve Munro, and of course George Bambury himself, to mention a few. Picking three top photos was tricky, as there are a few gems, but I settled on the following: GM1 and GM2 in Australian National Green and Gold, passing through the S-curves at Sodwell in November 1981, GM24 with the Melbourne-bound Southern Aurora at Kilmore East on a frosty morning in July 1984, and finally S313 on the Bacchus Marsh turntable at night in February 1991. This book is definitely one for those with an interest in the streamliners, Australian railways, or even photography in general. Copies are still available new from the usual stockists of railway titles, and I do highly recommend getting a copy if you've not already got one. Well, that wraps up episode 23 in the series. I hope you enjoyed it. Episode 24 will cover a book on a famous Australian train. As always, thank you for watching.